See, the EU is facing a crisis today. In fact, the EU is in, I would say, a trauma, especially after the last week at Davos. The US European relations were heading towards a drift, but this past week, I think, has dealt a trauma to the Europeans and European leadership. That is one. Secondly, it is coincidental that the EU leadership is in India today, now, for this EU India Free Trade Agreement. In any case, that free trade agreement is a big step forward. The European Union has a GDP of around $20 trillion. India is around 4.5. It creates a big $25 billion market both ways. India, we export around $130 billion of goods and services to the EU. After this free trade agreement, our exports will jump from $130 billion to around $200 billion. And European exports to India, which are around 80 billion or now, will jump to around 150. So cumulative bilateral trade will go from around $200 billion now to $350 billion. So that's a big jump in the next 5 to 7 years. For India, this will also lead to jobs growth. It's expected that anywhere from 2 million to 3 million jobs will be added as a result of this FTA. Now that said, I think Europe for too long has been looking at a worldview in which it looks at only three poles. America for security and trade, Russia for energy and other resources, and China as the factory as well as a growth market. Now all three of these poles of European worldview are wobbling. They're all moving apart. Europe needs a fourth pole in the 21st century as a doctrine. That fourth pole is and can be India very much. So this visit, which was due to happen in any case, but incidentally, since the Davos meetings were held just last week, and that whole back and forth with Donald Trump, I think the EU leaders, when they're in India now, are looking at India with a fresh pair of eyes. So that's where I think EU-India relations are now.